Grace Laborers Ministry is my church. It's where I fellowship from. It started with Sam Smith and Sarah Smith when they came to Tororo.
We wanted to see a God-glorifying, Christ-centered ministry. We had, when we got to Uganda, seen many ministries that were health, wealth, and prosperity, and we desired to see a ministry that would be built on expository preaching, that would be centered around the Lord Jesus Christ.
Christ-centered gospel is so much needed in Uganda because of the false Christianity type of churches we have in this country. We have many nominal Christians in this country who do not believe the gospel as it is portrayed in the Bible.
Most of the ministries there, if the pastor starts with a verse, he begins to tell just testimonies, and most of those testimonies will be rags to riches testimonies.
The gospel we preach, the behaviors of the saints, Reusable ministry, together with the projects, all lead this community to one direction, towards the spiritual realm.
This laborers ministry is a ministry that is coming to Africa, to Uganda in particular, that will help the people, the ministers, to effectively preach the gospel in their societies in a way of biblical-centered programs that there's no deceit, no manipulation of people.
Why is it that the right path, which is Jesus is Christ, the path of Jesus Christ, the path of kingdom of the Lord, why is it full of many temptations?
That's another good question. It's full of temptations, number one, because the flesh is always going to be at war with the spirit.
The vision and mission of Grace Laborers is very simple. We desire to know Christ in a deeper way and to make him known.
As a Christian, one always wants to make the people around us feel loved and to change their lives. So with Grace Laborers, that for me came alive. Like, you can't be in a community as an island and you're thriving, yet everyone around you seems to be struggling.
Go long the single method tech, you know, you can once go, Timia Marky, to go long, frequently, to get out to get low, to go to the quest, to go up in the out. Well, you don't made us swimming, go give land, and that's here. If you may get out, meaning for the next tea out in it, I don't give water swap, feel my running out in a yellow photo, the answer, my easier. Mother staring me along the target and Nandi. You the water you're going to call in. Don't tell us to go below water and to him in the aisle. But beat you ready. You give me about a 1 year, Tata in the bed, young one to another bed, young one to champion the corn. To go tell you where to watch a lot more years, you love for 3 to 1 year, son. Would up a minute. Out in the border. I'm not jumping the water with the tail club. Tell us what you want it out of 4,000 goes in there. To our really, so I'm telling you, well, and we'll yell at a letter to use children to me, but we can't forget around. The only thing in our art for the tail longer than one way, the man to me, not a year, and no yet person of war. That's my business.
He has a passion. Grace Laborers Ministry has done so many things to my life, things to do with my education. It has supported me, let me say, actually, since my primary, high school, and then now my college. Now I'm doing a course that is teaching, of which I'm finalizing this year.
I had no any skill, I was just at home there. But Grace Laborers has helped me in this way that I've now learned new skills. I now to make liquid soap, and now to tailor, and they have paid for me fees. They have added me strength to study.
chache ndio chibanyi ngomuganda ngagamba chibanyi muzungu azagamba shelter sobode kunda kabuzi kakano nobala mbusira kuchale kubanga kano kakazadde ko nyana yiyo obosuzo njala oli comfortable no stress omanyende chikubanya ndi bwana wesomero medical ba
akati obuyambi bwamfunyeko ate obulungi egulofa yange sibe bagitekawo obulamu bwe bugagga kasitobeera mulamu omugagga.
If I met my husband, I was in a Pentecostal church, and my husband came as a missionary for 2 weeks. I was his translator, so that's how we met. He started asking about procedures of marrying me. After 6 months, he came back to Uganda and we got married, and we relocated to Eastern Uganda, and he became a missionary there, and then he planted their ministry, and he was involved in it. I was involved in it. We were working hand in hand. And
when we first began the ministry of Grace Laborers in Uganda, it was very challenging. There were very little people that were behind us in support. There was a minister that needed to be trained, and I also was very young in the ministry. That training process, and also the process of me moving from one part of the world to another and getting adapted to the difference in the culture. In the community outreach programs, like the food drives and the women's health and biblical womanhood teaching, we're always wanting those that gather to be able to hear the gospel at least once.
To make sure that as people receive, as people benefit from the projects, the activities, we empower them with the gospel that makes them grow in faith. Because as you know, they say the way to a man's heart is through beneficiaries. It is hard to just hit someone hard with the gospel, yet is hungry.
When it is your time of the month, you squat on this part. You could just use this, you put on your private parts and it grabs the blood. And then when you stand up, the blood pours, you get sun and pour out there. Then my friends just bring for me food, I eat from here, and then they take back the things. Actually, you were like a dirty person. Nobody wanted to be near you. You were not allowed in the house. We had a hut on the side where the girls who were going through these periods could enter and sleep. It was a very hard situation. We couldn't afford underwear. Then we got another idea, which was more fetching. Like, we could get this banana fiber, you put it in the sun like for a short period, and you dry it. Before it dries very well, you can. It was so convenient, as in it was a bit hard. You know, when you walk, it is so uncomfortable. I'm not saying that in our country we don't have pads. Yes, they are there in many categories, but affording them. So at times we are forced to use our own means. You have to improvise as women. And my father would say, if you want to get pads, then you get married. And you know, when you are 12 years old, it is a bit hard. At times we are supposed to use some things so that we can survive the time of the month, but at times they are not hygienic. So at times at the end of the day, you can end up with other diseases, sicknesses that need again.
Many people still prefer to handle these things locally, using the local methods. Somebody tells you, in our culture, we don't accept people to use what? Pads. It's a taboo. For them, when the blood comes, leave it to flow the way it wants until it stops by itself.
For us here, they believe that when a lady has gone through menstrual period and a blood has poured, then you come and either step or jump over it. They say you will develop cracks in your legs.
When you're in your peas, you don't pick fruits, let's say fruits from the tree, because the plant will dry up or the fruits will start will be affected.
I've been hearing that when a woman is undergoing menstruation, when they cross a garden, the crops get scorched. More especially some particular crops, nuts, maize.
When you're under the periods, you are not supposed to cross the road. You are supposed to stay at home until the period is over.
They always scare them. They tell them you are not clean, you are a bad omen in that moment. So you find that they are frightened, they feel bad. Some of them feel hated. In their heart they resent God. Why do God give them such a moment? So you'll find that's why you find most of them dodge school, don't be in public gatherings.
They have to sit at home and wait for the days to get finished.
This menstruation comes along with abdominal pains, or what we can call cramps. And in most cases, when some of these girls experience these cramps, they can't concentrate. Actually, the pain is too much.
Then there is the scent and the general body weakness.
They don't have panties to use, soap for washing.
And we have some girls that lack pads because of the financial background of the parents. They be in class, but they are worried the month has started and I have no pads. You understand?
If a girl menstruates in class, it will call for the attention of the other people in class, especially the boys, who will in turn laugh at her, and she will find herself uncomfortable. And the only solution they get is to run away from school.
Because according to them, it is a shame.
When they start menstruating, maybe their parents don't have money, and they go to some boys, deceive them and take them because of pads.
At the end of the day, the girl is expecting she has to drop out of school.
These girls who are experiencing such conditions are always shy in class. They don't want to participate. They always try to escape from classes.
Until the menstrual period is over, that's when they come back to class.
And by the end of the day, most of them end up even leaving school.
You see, the idea of menstrual flow, even for an old adult like me, can be a big challenge and can disorganize your life. But when you lack what to use, it's even worse.
Some girls have reached time and committed even suicide. So we still have that problem of stigma, and it's too much. It's one of the real drivers to this problem of girls leaving school. Girls not associating with their friends, they are stigmatizing. It's really stigmatizing. So that stigma there is what we really try to fight in Wanawake and Grace Laborers.
Have you ever heard about reusable pads?
Yes, I've ever heard about them.
What have you heard about reusable pads?
That if you use them, you can again wash them properly and hang them to dry, then you use again.
Light For Wanawake came here and taught them how to make those pads.
When I see I'm about to go through it, I make by myself. I go and buy those soft clothes.
And use a plate for easy shaping it.
And you cut 3 circles. One is like a cavera.
The cotton paper. So when you're washing or if you're wearing it, cannot shout. So that everyone might know that you're in your menstruation period. The cotton paper, you put them inside. Then the small clothes, you put them outside. So then you sew it very well, knowing that it is yours and you're the one who's going to use it.
How to clean it? You get clean water, you get soap, and you wash. You put it in the sunshine, where the sunshine can heat it very well and it gets dry.
Health-wise, they are good when maintained properly, when washed properly. It only needs some hygiene in it.
Even when we are having these external NGOs coming in to teach these children how to make reusable pads, or even when we go to them, we always ensure that we have carried our young boys and girls together.
As I'm saying, you get a pad which is already set like this one here, and then you get a knicker. After getting a knicker like this, you bring this knicker here like this, you put it down, you lie it down like this, and then you enter your pad inside. You put the pad inside. And then you bring this way like this, you fold it like this. You bring this way, you fold. Even here, this also you fold it. You bring it also, you fold it, this also. After folding like this, you make sure it is set very well. You make sure it is set. After putting it inside like that, and then I think you can wear it like this. Think, let me show you how they can do it. You wear it like this.
The boys will always make sure that they help the girl children in preparing these reusable materials that can help the girl children use when they have challenges of menstrual hygiene.
Women in the community, they really need to understand about menstrual hygiene management, because I realized in the process of the trainings, you really have to explain to these people what you're teaching, what it means, and why we are teaching them what we are teaching them, the reusable pads.
When we are training, we use our own materials that we buy from the market. Though when we are teaching them, we tell them to use their own materials at home.
Light For Wanawake came here one time and tried to give us support of providing materials for making reusable pads for our girl child.
They conduct trainings whereby we are told not to pay or to facilitate them, but we get simple materials whereby they can teach our pupils on how to come up with reusable pads.
The more we keep teaching these children about menstrual hygiene and its related consequences if mishandled, of course I've kept them in the know, in a way that a child who is at school cannot be compared to that one who is outside there, who is illiterate about this current situation.
Me, I always move with my pads in my bags, and my girls know it. And I always tell them, if it happens, just come to me. I give them something, they clean up and pad and come back to class, and classes run normally.
What we do as local government, we have a plan that in every quarter there is a plan for girl children in the division level to the health units.
Being a church leader does not mean that I own every knowledge. So now I bring in people who are experts in that area. Then they talk to our ladies about the menstrual period. And I've seen it working and helping.
We always move around communities, we call them to come around and learn how to make their own reusable pads, sanitary towels, so that they can have, I call it better menstrual hygiene management. We teach them how to wash, how long you should put on a pad, and what time to wash yourself. Because as a woman, whenever you're expressing your menstruation, it means you are unclean. So it means you have to keep on cleaning yourself. At times when we are calling for conferences, for youth camps, Bible camps, we always take that opportunity, that chance to also tell them about menstrual hygiene. So it's almost every year, it is almost happening almost every month.
The impact is very good and very positive, that the children are now sensitized about how menstrual hygiene is supposed to be.
And I'm also very, very certain that the girls who have been failing to come and attend classes because of the menstruation periods are likely to be very, very regular in class.
There is a great change in that we have seen many girls are becoming open, many girls are becoming clean, they are organized. You know, those days you just get surprised. A girl comes from the class, blood is flowing, and the girl is telling you, I can't explain what is this, I cannot know. But today, the population of girls that is informed is more than the population that is not informed.
We have noticed a very big change since we began. actually not even a community, but communities, most especially in Tororo at large, you find that people didn't know that you can make your own nice reusable pad that you can be comfortable to move with. So people are now making their own reusable pads at home. Someone is not using that little money that they have that could buy kalo or flour or posho and beans. They are now using that money to better themselves, because we counted for them. Every woman goes through her menstruation every month, and that is like 6,000 shillings, 2 packets of pads per every month you menstruate. But if they get that money and use it to maybe for savings, by the end of the year, women are smiling. When you have your own pads, you're comfortable. You know, even if the month comes, I'm comfortable, I have my pads. Actually, we just say I'm ready for that time of the month. So even girls, young girls now, they are not going to be deceived. She will say, I know how to make my own pads, how can a man deceive me? Some of them are even got now self-esteem. Someone says, I don't need someone's help right now. Even when parents don't give these girls, they know they can make their own pads. And then we are near here, we have associated ourselves here, people even know where to find us. Schools have come to us and tell, we want you to come and help our girls.
We are sure with the support they are giving to us, we shall keep moving.
The community can support the initiative, one, by keeping the children positive and also themselves positive. We have seen organizations coming up and the communities are always like, these initiatives have come maybe to steal us, but Light For Wanawake has been so transparent.
Light For Wanawake, as you hear the word, is light to the women. Wanawake is women. We look at the common underlying problems that women face, that either the government or the community doesn't look at it as a pressing issue. And yet when you look at the women, the mothers, you'll find that it is a pressing issue, but they are quietly with it. And one of the main issue is things related with menstrual hygiene management, that you find the old men in the community and many people live that as a secret, and untalked about, something to hide, something to be handled behind back doors. And you find many women, this is a pressing matter. So we bring it on the table and tell them, yes, this is a pressing matter and we should table it and talk about it. Then we add on other things like supporting them in terms of maybe livelihood, counseling.
For sure, they have done a lot. They have done a lot to the mothers. They are reaching out to the people. They go and provide them. They go and counsel them. I think that is too much, but we really have to appreciate.
See, they are the ones who hold the home. We as fathers, we leave mother's home, the children, and we go fending for food. So you find most of the hours they are home. So when you look at if a mother is fine, is okay, the home will be lively.
This program of reusable pads, maybe we may not pay you as a young mother, but then you go somewhere, maybe you leave and go to another village and maybe you find an organization saying, is there anyone who can teach reusable pads? But you have that skill in your head. You're like, yeah, I've ever been taught how to make reusable pads in Wanawake, Grace Laborers Ministry. Then you can ace that job.
Sarah has always had the vision to be able to reach other women in Uganda that are in need. And so early on, she started to make pads and talk to women about biblical womanhood and about just basic womanhood things. In that sense, she's always had that vision and been able to be a blessing. And Light For Wanawake is a ministry that's under Grace Laborers Church.
When my husband started ministry, we were both involved in prison ministry. He was doing the men's, I was doing the women's. But then the women's needed basic needs. And one of the basic needs they needed was pads. And it was costly for us to provide monthly pads for these women in the prison. So I thought I would make pads and give them. And that's how it started, because whenever I stepped out of prison, I realized that it was needed also in the outside world, out of prison. So that's how we started going in schools, in churches, in different local communities, and now we are adding in more programs like Mama Kits, training young women. We are adding on more programs, but that's how it started in prison.
Young mothers, they face a lot of challenges so much in the community when it comes the time of deliverance.
Long distance of what? Where the hospitals are. It is also a big challenge. Eh? Then also, like time for giving birth, transport problems, moving, like it in case it happened at night, transport problem becomes very, very hard. That one also can affect the pregnant women.
Bamama abo ebiseera ebisinga batanya okufuna obuzibu katugambe nga balakinga nga mama kit abamu babeera balakinga pads wanga twebava wano nga batuse ekiseera ekyokola kyekyokuzaala ebintu ebibeera byetaagisibwa nnyo.
During my age, I gave birth without mama kit, but this is a time whereby every woman is running for mama kit.
No, long time people don't use to use it. They were just going where sometimes they used to deliver from home. You find that they use those clothes, rags. But now these mama kits are smart, are clean.
Mama kit is this provision where there are gloves.
Find soap, there's cotton, find
a polythene which they use to lay on the bed. They sleep on it. There's the pamper after they use that. There's sometimes towel for carrying a kid after. There's a
pads, reusable pads. Those ones are after the blood has reduced. You can now use the reusable pads.
And there's those sheets for wrapping babies when they've just given birth. There's a razor blade. There's that thread for tying the umbilical cord.
To protect a mother. Okudifendinga mama n'omwana ezimu zibeeramu n'etawero erisiivinga omwana ng'amaze okukola ki okuzaalibwa n'eggoozi naye abeeramu.
And ideally the hospitals are supposed to provide, the government is supposed to provide. But the government also gets overwhelmed. Needless to say that also the government workers sometimes sell the mama kits, which are supposed to be for free. They're sold. So you find that mothers lack what to use during the birth process, and many of them go to hospital without these. And the same health workers who sell, not all, there are some good health workers, but the same health workers who sell these mama kits won't touch the mother unless they have the mama kits.
Even if it is a government hospital, they tell you to buy it. Without it, they will not work on you. And when you don't have money, they will not attend to you.
You know, in our country these days, if you don't have money, there's nothing you can do.
So the lack of these mama kits, which is rampant now, is another challenge.
And it is for free. They have written on it, not for sale. But you find they are selling to them at 10,000, 5,000. Very little is 5,000, but so much near. Most time I've gone, I find they are selling them at 10,000.
We always make a communication. Any woman who is ready and you are in your last trimester, please come from the mama kit from our programs here. And they always come. You find that they come from all over Tororo.
In the communities we reach out to, many women cannot afford those kits. They're really expensive for them to afford, and they must go with them to give birth.
Sometimes the men they get, for example, they get a young man, they are pregnant the lady, and the man cannot provide. So you find that sometimes they get a lot of challenges. So you find they cannot manage themselves to do what they want to do, even going to the hospital.
You find the mother is in hospital alone. If they're lucky, with an older child, an older daughter, or a sister, or a friend.
Manyi wali wa mama abamu abajanga mutagamba nti afe mu kalicha yaffe omukyala wabeera nga azadde takirizibwa kutambula, takirizibwa kusaala luguudo, takirizibwa kulya kino nga kale kiri mu kalicho nga bagamba nti bakulanga kiri mu bwongo bwawe nti kiriwo ekiti.
These things of culture have killed many ladies. And people have died because of this kind of things of culture.
Ngezaako okubeera nga mbanyonyola nga mbagamba nti nedda ife mu sayansi Katonda wayamba omukyala n'azaala bulungi n'ova mu ddwaliro bulungi. Kiikirizibwa okutambula, kiikirizibwa okusala oluguudo, kiikirizibwa okulya eggi ly'oli kugaana nti ife mu kalicha yaffe tetulya ki? Tetulya eggi.
Me as a man, I've benefited a lot. It has really helped me and saved me. You know, looking at the economy of this country, you may expect and you don't get, more especially in the right time. You find that a woman is almost giving birth, you don't have anything in the pocket supporting the woman. But with this early preparation from Wanawake, really I thank God. It has really saved me.
Mbadde ekyo kiri ntukusaba kangambe nti okusaba singa kibadde kisoboka nga community ne tukumbanya ne tubeerako n'engeri gye tusobola kuteeka awamu obwongo ne tusobola kubeera nga kufunayo akantu oba ne tusobola kufunayo akantu ng'akasente oba kaki ne kabeera nga kayambako disi yanga mothers kubanga abasinga kituufu batera kufuna obuzibu naye nga tebabeera tebeesobola.
There is a young mother we helped save her life. She had to go for an emergency C-section and they did not have the money and we had to come in to pay the bills because they would not give her treatment without, producing the money. Many women die and babies in such circumstances, but it's always good to see at least one surviving. We praise the Lord for that. And of course it was God. Without God, it wouldn't have been possible.
You get so used to having everything given to you here in this country that when you see another country where they have to bring all their own medical equipment, I think it's very important that they have that. Again, to go along with the health, you have to take care of the body before you can take care of the soul. So it's a shame that in some communities they are ostracized, but I do believe that it's important that we help them. God wants us to help all, and especially the outcast. So if we can help the young mothers, we will be helping the children of those parents. And again, that will help the entire community and the entire country.
The programs, the projects of Light For Wanawake are impactful in the community. I see a great change in the lives of the people that have been touched, that have been blessed to be touched by Light For Wanawake. I would like to see this multiplied. I would like to see this reach a larger scope. But we can't do that without the support of people out there. And with support, it's not only funding, it's advice, it's volunteers, so that we see Light For Wanawake grow, so that we see these projects multiplied in other areas.
Let's keep supporting the girl child, more so those who have reached upper primary. That includes the age of 12 and above, such that these girls remain in school.
Let's also engage these children in gender equality activities. Let the boy child know that they are equal to the girl child and no one is above the other. With that, we shall have a harmonious society and our children shall be friendly to one another.
I encourage the viewers to copy what they see in this program.
They should also embrace this kind of information that can help the girls and the young women.
They should also come and join the initiative which is around, which has been brought to us. It begins by a step. Tomorrow it will be everywhere. It will spread for us to help our children, our girl children, to stay at school,
according to me, what I see, many people are still very poor. Many mothers, we have single mothers. Somebody is pregnant and needs support. There are young girls at school without pads, they need support. And apart from that, scholastic materials. Many of the children at school need those support.
Again, we need to make sure that we are not only taking care of ourselves, but we are taking care of the communities in the entire world. It's important that we help others. It's a directive in the Bible. It's a directive from God.
Please embrace the gospel. Let's stick to the gospel. Let's read our Bibles.
Pray for the young mothers and the girls around the community, and to keep on encouraging the young mothers, like they can become something. They should not just hide themselves in the villages.
And for the people watching and you're there and we come to your community, please be available. Help us by sensitizing. Help us by making a mobilization so that everybody can be helped by this program and everyone can listen to this gospel that we move out preaching.
When a project comes in a community, it can't be independent of the leaders. I would call upon all community leaders where Light For Wanawake and Grace Laborers is operating, and indeed in general where projects have been put in new areas of jurisdiction, to come on board and support these projects, to support these charities, because it takes a wholesome involvement of everyone to see that the lives of people in our communities are improved.
I would tell the viewers out there to always pray for the people who are in different countries, for the people who are in need of Christ, and for those who are laboring to take them the gospel. Always pray about giving towards those causes because they need it.
Christ wants us to go forth unto all nations, and this is your opportunity. Don't always stick to your own neighborhood, but go forth into the world. And this is the opportunity that this program will give you the opportunity to get involved.
This is ministry work, and ministry work doesn't move on a voluntary basis. At times, funding is needed. So, in all your capacities, whatever you can do to push the activities of the church, please, I would say continue, try all ways of pushing.
Right now, those who would like to support could give through Middletown Road Baptist Church, where I am the pastor. And in the future, we will be connected with a missions organization. We are glad that you were able to take out the time to be able to look into the ministry and the mission that's going on in Uganda. And we pray that the Lord would also burn a fire in your heart to reach out in your local community and also to be a part in what we're doing in Uganda. May the Lord bless you.